Imagine being trapped on a beach. 400,000 soldiers behind you, the enemy in front, and nowhere to run. In May 1940, the Allies were on the brink of total disaster. But what happened next became one of the most extraordinary rescue missions in military history. This is the real story behind the Miracle of Dunkirk, and how a devastating defeat became a symbol of survival, defiance, and hope. On May 10, 1940, Hitler launched his lightning war, the Blitzkrieg, against France. The Allies expected a repeat of World War I, bracing for an invasion through Belgium. But the German tanks did something no one thought possible. They stormed through the dense Ardennes forest, thought to be impassable. General Heinz Guderian led his panzer divisions to the French coast in just 4 days, cutting off the British Expeditionary Force and large numbers of French and Belgian troops. With their backs to the sea, over 400,000 Allied soldiers were trapped. Then came one of the war's most debated decisions. On May 24th, Hitler ordered his tanks to halt. That infamous Halt Order bought the Allies precious time and gave birth to a last-ditch escape plan. On May 26th, at exactly 6:57 p.m., the British launched Operation Dynamo, a desperate plan to evacuate troops from Dunkirk. Vice Admiral Bertram Ramsay directed the mission from a war room inside Dover Castle. The situation? Dire. The port of Dunkirk was the last Allied foothold. German artillery shelled the beaches. The Luftwaffe bombed day and night. The goal? Save 45,000 men, if they were lucky. On the beaches, soldiers stood in endless lines, knee-deep in water, digging into the sand for shelter from air raids. Their discipline under fire was astonishing. And then there was the Mole, a long pier not meant for boarding ships, but it became the lifeline of the evacuation. Nearly 2/3 of all rescued troops left via this narrow strip of wood and concrete. It quickly became clear the Royal Navy couldn't do it alone, so Britain called on its people, and the people answered. Over 850 civilian boats joined the mission. Fishing trawlers, yachts, ferries, even pleasure cruisers, some captained by their owners, others by barely trained sailors. The Medway Queen rescued over 7,000 soldiers. The Sundowner, a small yacht, crammed in 130 men. Even a humble fishing boat named Boy Billy made 3 trips, but it came at a cost. 226 ships were lost, 6 destroyers sunk, over 900 sailors and civilians died. Still, the little ships became legends, ordinary people performing extraordinary acts under fire. Above it all, the Royal Air Force waged a hidden war. Spitfires and Hurricanes flew over 3,500 sorties to protect the beaches from German Stukas and Messerschmitts. But here's the tragedy. Soldiers on the beach couldn't see the dogfights far overhead. Many believed wrongly that the RAF had abandoned them. Meanwhile, on land, 40,000 French troops under General Molinier made a heroic last stand in Lille, holding off 7 German divisions. Without that resistance, Operation Dynamo would have failed. On June 3rd, Churchill ordered the final phase: save as many French troops as possible. At 3:40 a.m. on June 4th, the operation officially ended. The final numbers were staggering. 338,226 soldiers evacuated 693 ships, involved 226 ships, lost 145 RAF planes, shot down. Nearly all heavy equipment was left behind, but the army lived to fight another day. In Parliament, Churchill said, "We shall never surrender." But he also reminded Britain, wars are not won by evacuations. Still, Dunkirk mattered. It saved Britain's army and its spirit. The Dunkirk spirit became a symbol of unity, defiance, and the power of ordinary people doing the impossible when it mattered most. Dunkirk wasn't a victory, but it wasn't defeat either. It was a turning point, forged by courage, sacrifice, and the will to survive. If you want more powerful true stories from history, like this one, Hit subscribe, smash that like button, and drop a comment below. What moment in World War II should we cover next?